Okay, now that we've seen the cartridges that are included on this machine, I've turned on the machine and we're going to discover how to access the cartridges within the machine. Remember again that we have the 4 buttons across the top. The power button, the pause button, a home button. This is the home screen, so anytime you want to get back here you can press this home button. And then we have a zoom button. This is the home screen and it shows you your mat. I'm going to zoom in on it so we can see it a little better. And from here you navigate through the machine using these 4 keys. The first key we're going to play around with is the image key, and this is where you access your cartridges. If I don't have any cartridges loaded in the ports in my machine, when I select this it will automatically pull up the cartridges that are within the machine. To change between the cartridges, because there's 4 of them, you select this button here. And then you'll see that the machine is highlighted and that it has a drop-down menu of the different cartridges that are included within the machine. Okay, so let's type in a few things. You see that this looks just like the keypad, and when you select the different features and the shift button, it'll pull those items up. Then, to make our selection, we can just type what we want, and it will pull it up in the queue. If we want to see something a little bit closer, we hold down the zoom button that's over here. I showed you a second ago right here. And so I hold it down and I just tap on it and it will pull it up large. I click it again and it will take it back out, or I can tap on the screen and it will take it back out. I can do the same thing on each of the keys. So that's kind of fun. So once you have your selections made, let's hit our home button, which is either on the side here, or you can also see one here on the lower part of the screen. And it will pull those up and show you how they will be cutting on your mat. Let's go back. Now that I've showed you how to do that, I want to tell you about these buttons here. This button here is the backspace button. So I can backspace out of my designs that I've already picked. I can also add a space in between items. This button here is the line return button. So if I select that, it'll show that there will be a line return, and then let's add two more shapes. This one is the undo button, takes the last command off, and then the redo button. And then the X will actually clear them all off. But before I do that, I want to show you how that will look with the space and the line return on your mat. So that's really helpful in moving images around to where you would like them on your mat. Again, let's show you how to change to a different cartridge within the machine. We'll clear this out. Show you how we can zoom in and select an image. If I want to edit the size of this image, I click on the image up in the queue and it will bring up this little screen. The red minus button will take the image out of the queue. This button will copy that image exactly right in the queue. Let's backspace. And the pencil up in the corner will take me to an edit screen. This edit screen is where I can change the size. So let's make that 3 inches. And it changes it in increments of 1/4 of an inch. I can select relative size or real dial size. Right there. So then I press save and we can look at it on our mat. Okay? Let's go back in there. I want to show you what else you can do. You can flip the image left to right. You can flip it vertically. And you can also rotate it 90 degrees, which will also be helpful. I love that feature because if you have a stripe pattern paper on your mat and you want it to go another way, you can just change your image. That's really easy. Okay, let's clear that out. Let's load, now that we've seen how we can access the cartridges included internally in the machine, let's load a regular Cricut cartridge in our machine and show you how that works. When I load a cartridge, it will automatically pull up that cartridge that I just added in. And this is Nate's ABCs. So you can see that we've got some images from Nate's ABCs. If I want to switch, if I want to add something to the queue from Nate's ABCs and then also add something from the internal cartridge, I can do that. And have them both on the same mat. And just like I edited the pictures before, I can do the same thing with the Cricut cartridge. Next, we're going to load our Imagine cartridge into the Imagine slot. So we can work with all three cartridges at the same time if we would like. So when the Imagine cartridge pulls up, it'll show in the queue in color, but just to remind you, you cannot print in color with this machine. But it does show you the images in color like it does on the Imagine machine. So let's select an image to play with. First, let's clear out the other images. Let's do this one. So I can edit it here and it will add it. It'll let me change the size like we did in the other areas. It'll also let me add the composite image, which is this button, or I can separate it into layers by pressing this button. And when I go back to my queue, it will show all the different layers there in the queue. And I can edit each one of them individually if I like, or take the ones out that I don't want. Now, let's add this image again. Actually, that's not what I wanted to do. We'll just go edit this cloud because I wanted to show you that you can also flip vertically, or I'm sorry, horizontally and vertically, and rotate the images just like we did with the internal cartridge and the Cricut cartridge. Let's add this image again, and I want to go in and show you how you can see the different layers. You can scroll through, and it's kind of hard to see on the video, but the layers are grayed out, and then you just tap on them to see them. And that is how you access the Imagine cartridge. Put those on the mat so you can see what they look like, and there they are. So we've discovered how to access our internal cartridges by going to this button. Our Imagine cartridges are over here on this button, and our regular Cricut cartridges are on this button when they're loaded into the machine.